Call of Duty is a video game that is not known to almost no one, and for good reason. They've had multiple memorable titles such as Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops, Black Ops 2. And then in the past couple of years, they've had some stinky releases such as Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Um, List goes on. With nothing going on this weekend for me, I decided to download and play the Call of Duty Vanguard alpha for myself to determine if I would think if the next entry in the Call of Duty series would be worth a crisp $60 on PC and $70 on console for me. And honestly, I don't think it delivered at all. In terms of giving criticism, I'm going to list things I obviously don't like and then things that I do like because believe it or not, I'm not just some fuck Call of Duty. I actually do think that there are some interesting ideas and implementations in this alpha that could be beneficial to the series as a whole going forward. But for the most part, I don't see any innovation anywhere. So I'm going to start with the in terms of game modes for alphas, this one is by far not my favorite. If you look back at Cold War's alpha, there were 3 core game modes: Team Deathmatch, Domination, and Kill Confirmed. Looking at this one only a year later, there's only one game mode, and it's completely new. It takes very heavy inspiration from Warzone and Gunfight from the last 2 Call of Duty games, which I'll let the announcer explain in greater detail.
The Champion Hill, friends. Your team has a whole bunch of lives. Lose all your lives and you're eliminated. Last team standing wins. Grab some gear at those buy stations. Take out opponents, get cash. Easy.
But because of the nature of this game mode, Call of Duty is just slowed down, and everything that makes Call of Duty is just absent. Well, I think this new game mode is a great idea in theory. I don't think the alpha is the best place that it could have been implemented. I think this is more of a beta side game mode that you can try, or just wait until the full launch. Because honestly, when I play an alpha, I want to mess around with whatever I can and all the guns I can have my hands on. And the Cold War alpha was basically just a super scaled down full launch, which I think an alpha should be because it's almost directly what you're gonna get at launch. But with this is like a game mode that's a third of what we're gonna get at launch, which again I don't think is a bad thing, but I just wish that it wasn't this game mode. With this game mode, Call of Duty takes a heavy hit on fast-paced action, which it's always been known for. People are camping in the back of the maps, preserving their lives because they want to be the last one left. They want to earn that victory. And honestly, this is the most efficient way to win. I've played all of this weekend and I've won a handful of times, 10 times maybe, and I hate to admit it, but that is the way that most people play, and even I had to play sometimes because there's just no winning when you're full running in, getting killed, and then you're out within the first 3 rounds. It's just not really how it works. So in terms of pure Call of Duty, that it just doesn't feel like it because the gameplay is so slow that a lot of the time, like, you're getting maybe 2-3 kills a round if you're lucky, when Call of Duty games, especially in Cold War, you get like 40 kills in one game or something like that, where this you're lucky if you're getting like 20, which again isn't a bad thing because it's a new game mode. But with it being an alpha, there are just a lot of things going unutilized because they have new weapons that you want to try out and perks and kill streaks. But the thing is, with the way that the game mode is set up, you need cash to buy these things, and you only get cash from kills or collecting them on the floor. But the thing is, you spend this on everything that you buy: weapons, armor, kill streaks, perks, even upgrading your weapon so that you have a better fighting chance against your enemies, which are gonna do the same. But the thing is, if you do choose to spend that money on things that you think that you're going to need, such as weapon upgrades, you're not gonna have any money to buy weapons that you think you would have an enjoyable time with, especially because keeping the weapon that you have is such a safe bet already, because you have upgraded that numerous times, where if you want to buy $1,000, $1,500 car, you have to buy that, but you also have to upgrade it, make it worth using. And it's just so hard to do when this game mode is so prohibiting on how much money you can get by purely focusing on getting kills and picking it up on the floor, which there's only about $600 on the floor at a time. And it's difficult method. Besides my issues with the pacing of the games and the methods in which you get weapons and such, I have no problems with this game mode. I think it's perfectly fine, but like I said, I think it would be better suited in the full release, or even maybe the beta, like a side mode in the beta. But in terms of the alpha being so close to the announcement, I think they would have benefited from waiting just maybe even another week or 2 weeks, which I know that 2 weeks isn't going to add a whole lot. This is the game mode that they had planned at the very beginning, but I think that those 2 weeks could have even just polished the game mode a little bit better, or stuff like that. But that's enough about the game mode for now. So this is my second time recording this video, with my first time being recording it yesterday. But I wanted to give the alpha one more full day for me to play and mess around with before I give my final verdict on what I think and my opinions. But one thing that obviously doesn't change within one day is the engine. And as you may or may not know, Call of Duty Vanguard runs on the same engine that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 did. And it's a great engine. Guns feel great, there's recoil, it's very realistic, but that's not the problem that I have with it. The problem that I have with the engine this time around is there seems to be little to no changes on anything, even the HUD. I'll put up on screen right now pictures of Call of Duty Modern Warfare and the Vanguard Alpha, and if you look close, the only thing that really changes from the HUD is font changes and sizes of the images that are displayed. I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with that, but when you look at it as Modern Warfare 2019 coming up 2 years ago, and this being a brand new Call of Duty game, and they feel almost the exact same. Especially when you take into account that the car model is the exact same as they used in Modern Warfare 2019. The game just doesn't feel unique. I feel as if Call of Duty is losing its creative spark, which made the series so beloved in the first place. I know this isn't really necessarily entirely fair, because the campaign isn't out, and that's where a ton of creativity is thrown into the Call of Duty games, especially with like the Black Ops campaigns being a massive twist at the end and stuff like that. In terms of looks and visuals, I felt like I was playing Modern Warfare 2019. I had not played Modern Warfare 2019 in probably about a year, and I haven't seen gameplay of it in probably about the same amount of time, and it was crazy that within my first 15 minutes in the game, I felt like I was playing Modern Warfare 2019, and I'd completely forgotten what that was like. But like I said, within my first game even, I was instantly reminded of what it felt like, because they play the exact same. I feel like there's no movement changes whatsoever, whereas like Black Ops Cold War, even though that game wasn't entirely great, it wasn't even really all that good, they did a cool thing where they mixed the engine of Modern Warfare with the ones from Black Ops 3, which gave a very interesting mix to things. It made it feel unique. I gotta say, it felt similar to Modern Warfare 2019, but it didn't feel like I was playing a carbon copy. Whereas with Vanguard, in terms of what it is right now, it's subject to change because it is an alpha. It feels the exact same as what I was playing 2 years ago, and that's not exactly what you want. They should be innovating in the space. And I know they want to keep it the same because Modern Warfare 2019 was a pretty decent game. It was pretty well received by everyone. But who wants to play a 2-year-old game with a fresh coat of paint? I know that's what a lot of games are doing nowadays, especially with the sports games, but come on, really, Call of Duty's at that point now? Like, the games used to be so creative and innovative. Every game felt at least a little bit different. Like, look at Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. same engine, pretty different feel. I mean, updated visuals and such like that. Like, it felt different to play. That just is not present with Vanguard, and that makes me kind of sad to say, because well, I didn't have the highest hopes and expectations going into this. They were actually quite low because of what Black Ops Cold War release was like and what the game is now. I was not disappointed because of my low expectations and low hopes, but I'm also not overly excited like I was for Cold War. So the next thing I want to talk about would be the weapons, and like I said, I'm going to voice what I think is good and bad. And personally, I think the weapons feel very, very, very nice. I am playing this on a PS5, so the controller does have trigger effects, which gives it tension depending on what kind of gun you're using, automatic, pistol, stuff like that, which also add to the uniqueness of the gun, but I also played a little bit without it, and I gotta say the guns feel amazing. They feel very unique to one another, but the gunplay is very, very nice. It's, like I said, running on the Modern Warfare 2019 engine, which was amazing for guns and such like that. They definitely didn't disappoint with this one, because the weapons feel amazing and unique from each other. But I have one issue with the weapons. Like I said before, this isn't really an issue with the weapons, this is more of an issue with the game mode. But I think the method in which you obtain weapons is a little not great. Like I said before, it's purely cash based, so it's whatever you can afford you can get. And with there being 12 or 13 guns in the alpha, you're lucky if you play with half of that. There's 2 rotations of 6 or 7 weapons, with you starting with 2 of them. So right off the bat, you have a third of the weapons unlockable. And the next weapon unlockable is $500, and I think there's an option for 1,000, and then 1,500, and then 1,700. I could be wrong. I'm not looking at a picture of it right now, so I could be mistaken. That money is actually a lot if you take into account weapon upgrading and buying perks and buying armor and stuff like that. So you are not playing with all the weapons. You are considerably lucky if you can get your hands on 7 or 8 different weapons during the entire alpha. I know I didn't really get that much, but yet again, I wasn't necessarily saving my money up for that, because in order to do well, you kind of have to upgrade your weapons. With a couple upgrades in, you get FMJs, and if you're fighting people that have FMJs with weapons that you have that don't, it's a very different time to kill, actually, which you wouldn't really necessarily think of right away. Another issue that I had with the weapons, not only is there a very limited way that you can get them, but there's also a couple guns fewer than were in the Cold War. This isn't a huge deal, it's 4 or 5 guns, but still, not only are you getting less guns, but you're also getting a far more limited way to get them. I just feel like they could have had a better, like, again, this all comes back to game mode, but I just think that it could have been better. In terms of gun balancing, I think all guns are balanced considerably well, with the exception of the bar. I feel like the bar was overpowered and a little bit broken, just slightly, with the upgrades that you would get, making it a 3 or 4 shot kill at range. And my issue that came with this was that snipers were easily outclassed. Sniping, which is high risk, high reward, snipers are very slow, but often deliver a 1-shot kill. With the bar, you get a 3-time scope, so you have range, and you're also killing in 3 to 4 shots at range, which is a full auto weapon, and the sniper sometimes getting a hit marker, which requires a 2-shot kill. It just feels outclassed almost immediately, because before someone can scope in with a sniper, you're already shooting at them at range, and a lot of the times you're killing them before they can even get their sight up or pull the trigger. And to me, sniping had no real place in this alpha then, because people would try to snipe me, but I would just pull out my bar right away, and the 3-time scope, I could see them easily, and I would just shoot and kill them because it was a pretty fast time to kill. That's another thing. Time to kill felt a little walky with the alpha, with the inclusion of armor, obviously. Without armor, like, the time to kill seemed pretty fast, which was good, considering that the game mode was already slow enough. I wanted a fast time to kill so that there could be at least some action. But with the armor, it seemed that the time to kill was 2, maybe even 3 times longer, which isn't bad. Like, it's armor, so I think that's balanced. Like I said, the only issue that I had with balancing was the bar. Everything else seemed completely fine. The last thing I'm going to talk about is going to be the maps. It takes place in an arena, so technically it is one big map. There's 3 or 4 subsections, and you're playing these subsections. You'll never get one back to back, so it does have a little bit of strangeness where it feels like you're getting one of the maps far fewer than you're getting the other ones, because the team that you're fighting also can't have one back to back, so you have to go to a map that neither of you have had, but you also can't go to the map that you were just on, so it leaves only 1 or 2 options for you guys to go to. But in terms of the maps, the map design, there's only 1 or 2, so about half the selection that I actually like and enjoy playing on, and the other 2 are just pure dread when I see them, especially with the one map that you load in and you're looking straight ahead, and if the destructible portion of the wall is open, you can see directly where the other person spawns. So with the countdown, you can be scoped in on them and you can be shot and killed right away. And this doesn't even matter if the destructible wall is there or not, because people have learned this, and they'll sit there scoped in on a specific spot, and even with the soft wall still there, you'll be killed almost immediately. I feel like this could be an issue that they could solve at launch, like have one person or even both people spawn more towards the middle, so that they could not be killed right off the bat. Besides that one, I didn't have a huge issue with the maps. They're fine. They're not something that I I'm dying to play once the full game comes out, or they're not something I want to see again right away. And in terms of the map and map design, what I do like about the map design is they have added a lot of destructible walls, a lot of plywood that you can run through and break through, and that feels really cool and it feels really nice, and you can get kills through them. One issue that they did say that they had in the patch notes that came out on Saturday, what they had fixed from Friday, was that people were getting aim assist through the soft walls, but I never had an issue with that, so that didn't really affect me, and it seems to have been fixed now. Another issue that I had with the soft walls, along with being killed right off the bat on one of the maps, was a lot of the time you can see another person's name tag, gamer tag, through a soft wall with it being bright red, so that's another easy way to spot someone and try to shoot and kill them through a soft wall. But again, it's an alpha. It should be cleaned up more by the beta, and especially during by the full release. Visually, the maps, they're fine. I have a list of things I like and things I don't like from the game in front of me, and the only thing I have under the neutral category is the visuals. They're not stunning. I have a PS5, so ray tracing is implemented, but when I played Modern Warfare 2019 on my GTX 1080 in my computer, it looks almost the exact same. And again, this is an alpha, so visuals are subject to change and such and stuff like that. They're nothing to write home about, but they're also nothing to get upset about. So visually, the game is fine. That should be everything that I had a stance on from the alpha. It may seem a little unfair to give judgments based on the alpha alone, but that's not where I'm going to stop. I'm going to play the beta, and depending on the future, I might purchase the full game, maybe try a free weekend first when the game is fully released. But I wanted to get this video out on the alpha with some gameplay as well in the background, so that people can see the game for themselves if they didn't have a PlayStation or weren't able to play. And I also wanted to offer my stance on this from a person who's been playing Call of Duty for years and years now. And as much as I hate to say it, Call of Duty has lost a lot of its magic that it had for me. And it seems to be that way for a large percent of the community as well, with Cold War getting quite a bit of backlash and hate. And again, I'm not hating on this game. I'm not hoping it fails tremendously. I'm just giving my feedback on what I thought of the alpha, and I'm interested to see what the game is like. I'm not excited to play it. I'm interested in my opinions on what they're going to be when the beta comes out. And that's the biggest issue that I had with the alpha. I wasn't excited to play it. I wanted to be excited for it tremendously because from the very first game that I played, I knew I wanted to record a video like this, giving my thoughts and everything about it, and I knew I had to play a fairly decent amount of games and time for me to have a justifiable video. And I wanted so bad to be interested to play it. But the thing is, first time I ever got on the alpha, I played 3 games, I won my 3rd game, and I said, okay, that's enough for now. And I got off for a little bit, and 3 games is probably about 40 minutes. And that was a constant that I had throughout this entire alpha, was I had an extremely hard time playing this game for more than an hour. And that definitely very well could be a personal issue. This whole video is about personal issues that I had with it. It just wasn't exciting to play. With that, my final remarks are Call of Duty Vanguard, not excited for the beta. I'm interested for the beta. I'm not excited for the beta, but I'm also not displeased with what I got. I'm almost completely neutral on most things, except for a couple issues in which I voiced here, but I'm interested in seeing how this game shapes up. So yeah, Vanguard is mediocre at best.